Hello and welcome to a leg day routine for the Bowflex Xceed, XTREME, and PR3000. This routine is actually the last routine in the Bowflex 100X program, which is designed to get you stronger and fitter and feeling good on this machine in just 100 minutes a week. This is the third leg day routine that's part of that program. And I wish I could say, all these are brand new exercises we've never done before and expose you all these new exercises, but that wouldn't be true. There's only so many different exercises you can do on this machine. And so what I decided to do was focus on some of the core lifts. We've got actually 4 different exercises we're doing here today. 3 of them we've done before. And we're gonna work on actually raising our resistance up in this routine. And what we're gonna do that's a little bit different is instead of targeting 10 reps per set, I'm gonna be targeting 8 reps per set. So fewer reps normally means you can bump up the resistance a little bit. Now, don't go crazy. Don't, throw on an extra 50-pound power rod or whatever and just try to just blast through your old numbers, but work on raising those numbers up a little bit. So I'm gonna be targeting 8 reps throughout this routine. There's still gonna be a full 35 seconds for every set. So if you wanna do 10, you can do 10. Some of them, I might even go as low as 6 reps per set. So I'm really gonna be bumping up that weight and encourage you to do so throughout this routine. And changing these variables like this is a great way to break through a plateau. So if you feel like you're stuck and you can't get that resistance up anymore when you're doing these routines, try playing around with some of those variables where number of reps you do can be one of them. So maybe you bump up your weight setting. You can only do 8 reps this time, but maybe you can do 9 next time and then 9 again, and then suddenly you're up to 10 reps and you've bumped up that weight setting. So that's one of the variables you can play with. Another variable you can kind of adjust is instead of doing 10 reps at a certain weight, maybe try to only do 5 reps, but take those reps really, really slowly. It's another way to engage your muscles a little bit different and focus on different things, and that's going to help break you through some of those plateaus. So again, today we're doing 8 reps per set, and we are going to be using a couple different pieces of gear here. I've got my normal squat bar with the extensions and squat bar pad. For deadlifts, I'm going to be doing the lat pull down bar. Reason I like this again is because it's a little bit shorter cable length. You see it clips in right, instead of right up here, it's going to clip in right to the bar, and it's going to be resistance sooner, a little bit more resistance as well. And then we're going to finish things up with the leg extension attachment. So that's the plan for today. Again, there's the free PDF linked in the description. Print that out. Hope you join me for it. And we're going to have our 4-minute warm up, rack up our resistance, and I'll see you right back. All right, let's get this going. Jogging in place here for 90 seconds. Alternatively, you can toss in some high knees or some jumping jacks. We're gonna do some body weight squats in a bit, so save those if I feel like doing them. Now let's talk about today's routine. First up, we are gonna be doing squats. We got 5 sets of these. So that first set, again, we are gonna be starting out a little bit lighter than where we want to go. Think of this as a continuation of your warm-up, and then you're going to build up to that maximum resistance. So from there, we're going to be doing some deadlifts. I'm going to be hooking up the lat bar for that. You can use the squat bar attachment if you'd like though. Now I mentioned kind of building up to that max resistance. One thing I want to clarify, I do not recommend doing 1 rep maxes on this machine, especially for squats with how you start at the low, like right off of the ground. So keep that in mind. So after deadlifts, we're doing a single-legged deadlift after that. And then we're gonna wrap things up with a leg extension. So again, throughout this whole routine, I'm gonna be doing less than 10 reps per set, except maybe that first one. But we're gonna be targeting 8 reps for most of this. I might even go as low as 6 reps for some of it. So let's start moving into some body weight squats here. So again, for these, hands in front of us, using as a counterbalance, raise up, get a nice deep squat, or you go as low as you can comfortably go. If you can't go as low as me, that's fine. Squat to, what feels good to you here. We're just trying to get loose here. Okay, we're gonna move into a warrior pose, which is kind of like a lunge here. So for this, I'm gonna put one leg out in front of me here, and then I'm gonna kind of drop down into a lunge. And then I like putting my arms out like this here, kind of open up your chest a little bit. You can also bring your arms up as well. Oh, that feels good too. We're gonna hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now let's switch sides here. Feel that nice stretch in your quads. Also in the other leg, I get a nice stretch in my calf muscle. Loosen my ankles. Feeling my hamstring. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, side squats from here. So for side squats, legs are gonna be pretty wide apart, and I'm gonna just go side to side here and drop down and press up out of this here. So this is, still loosening up our quads, but it's also, for me, it kind of loosens up my hips as well. And I know these can be kind of hard to do here. I find the more I do, the lower I can dip down. Okay, so here with about 30 seconds, you can do whatever you want to finish this warm up. I'm gonna do some quad stretches here, so I'm just pulling up my leg, focusing on loosening up this quad. Lean up against something if you need to. I'm gonna switch sides now. We are gonna be racking up our resistance here in just a moment. So again, with this, we're not going right to our maximum resistance. Treat this first set or two as a continuation of our warm up. So I'm gonna be racking up, I've got 130 pounds of power rods and 110 pounds of elastic bands on each side. And by the end of this routine, I plan to add another probably 2 elastic bands, putting me, right now this is 240. I think that'll put me somewhere around like 350 near the end of this. So keep in mind, I'm not saying I'm squatting 350. This is elastic band and Bowflex resistance, so it's definitely a bit different. So let's make sure we've got our squat bar and everything all hooked up here properly. And if you're not sure how to hook up the squat bar, I'll have a link to a separate video on that covers exactly what to do there. So once we've got this all hooked up, oh, nice, we have a whole extra 30 seconds here. I'm gonna drop down and get in position. Now this squat bar setup here, the first time you do it, it's really hard to find the right cable length here. Once you've got it, it's you kind of just set it up and you don't have to worry about adjusting it again. Okay, a couple seconds. Let's go ahead and raise up here. And now we're in the standing position and drop it down nice in a controlled fashion, then raise up. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going for 10 on this first set. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So from here, next set, I'm going to just be targeting 8. And I'm not going up to peak resistance just yet, but definitely going to be adding a bit more here. So I'm going to add another rod or another band here. And let's make sure we're recording our weight setting so we know for next time. Okay, targeting 8 reps here this time. Let's start thinking about getting in position here. We got about 10 seconds to go now. I'm gonna press up a couple seconds early here. All right, so I'm gonna raise up right now. And we're gonna slowly drop and press up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, we're just going for 8 here. That's 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so for squats here, I also gave us a little bit longer rest interval, minute 20 between every set here. And, you know, I want you thinking about that weight setting. Could you do more? Or is that where you need to stop here? I feel like I can do a bit more. So I'm gonna add another band or 2. And I'm gonna be shooting for 8 reps here, but you know, I don't know if I can count this high on how much weight I got. I'll have to count it up between sets here. But I got all of my elastic bands that came with the kit and all racked up, and we're gonna get ready to go here. So I'm gonna again target 8 reps here. You know, take care, make sure you don't hurt yourself on this though, going heavier. Okay, that's 1, 2, I want you counting along. 3, 4, strong exhale on the way up. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, there we go. Two more sets. See, I'm giving us this long rest interval because these squats, they really take it out of you, using so much power in your legs. Okay, 20 seconds to go. Start getting in position and ready to go here. I'm going for 8 again. Again, take care of your knees down here. Make sure if something feels really strained, you're not pushing yourself too hard. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we're doing it. We got one more set before we go into deadlifts. And that's what I'm getting my gloves ready for. When I'm using the lap bar, I need some gloves on. I don't know about y'all, but need that extra grip. Yeah, I hope you're liking this extra weight. I'm loving it today. You know, some days, if you just don't feel like you have it in you to go heavier, if you feel a little tight, it's not the right day, you know, to bump up that resistance. But, you know, the days where you're feeling good is where you want to, you know, really push yourself. All right, 10 seconds, y'all. Let's get ready to go here. Get in position. Last set of these squats. I'm going to failure here. Let's raise up and let's push it. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's it for me. And now we're going into deadlifts. So I'm gonna just right away disconnect this bar here, and we're just gonna be hooking up the lat bar. So for this first set, I'm gonna keep things in the same position. Second widest down here, second narrowest up here. Now, I'm gonna be bumping up my weight after this simply by bringing out the resistance one setting after this first set. Not there yet though. Okay, so when I'm doing deadlifts with the lat bar, I like facing the tower. If I'm using the squat bar, I like facing away. And I'm gonna be on the platform here, and I have a nice bend in my legs here. My arms are just holding this. I like to think my arms just as ropes as I raise up into a deadlift here. So we're gonna go up and then drop it down. That's 1. 2, you're lifting with your legs, not at all with your back. That's 3. 4, 5, and you can be leaning back at the end of these if you want. That's 6, 7, I'm going for 10, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm bringing mine out, 1 pulley position here. And again, the wider pulley position is going to increase the weight just a little bit. Reason for that is the power rods are bending just a little bit further when those pulleys are out wider. So I mentioned you can lean back a little bit on this. If you're doing deadlifts with free weights, that doesn't really work. It kind of works because of the angles on this machine to have a little bit of a lean back, because you otherwise are getting pulled towards the tower here. Okay, 10 reps here. No, 8 reps here. Let's get going and raise it up. That's 1. 2, 3. Again, all that weight is being moved by your legs. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, are we having fun yet? We are just getting going here. Okay, we got 2 more sets of these deadlifts here. Think about that weight setting. You know, if you knocked out 8 and still had a bunch in the tank, I want you bumping that weight setting up. Okay, 10 seconds, let's start getting in position. Again, I'm standing on the platform here. Arms about a little bit wider and shoulder width apart. Butt is gonna be back as you raise up. Lift with those legs, that's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Yes. Okay, so after this set, I'm actually going to be removing all of my elastic bands, I think. No, I'm dropping down to a 50-pound band and a 50-pound power rod after this set. And part of that is we're going to be shifting to a one-legged deadlift. So we're only, one leg at a time, so you need to drop the weight. The other part is it's going to be largely a balance, or going nice and slow and focusing on your balance is going to be a critical part of it. But we got this final set here. All right, deadlifts. Let's go, raise it up. That's 1. 2, I want you exhaling on the way up. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8, I'm going for 10 here. 9. And 10. Yes, all right. Let's start dropping our resistance. So I'm dropping my resistance by about, I think this is about 70% reduction here. As I remove all but 1 band down to a 50-pound power rod and a 50-pound band. We're going to keep using the lap bar. And I'm going to show you how this next lift is going to go. Okay. Just a 50-pound rod and a band here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna be facing the machine here. I'm off the platform though. I'm gonna grab the handle. I'm gonna have it about shoulder width apart. And now I'm probably about, I don't know, 8 or 10 inches away from the machine. And I'm gonna be standing on 1 foot, and then I'm gonna lean forward here, bringing this 1 leg back, and then I'm gonna rock forward, and I'm gonna bring this leg out in front of me here, hold it for a second, and then rock it back again. Now, it's really important to go nice and slow and control the motion the whole way through. So we have a long rep timer here, and that's gonna be 1, 2. So we're not only gonna hit those glutes on the leg that, actually both legs here, that's 3. But the leg that is planted, we're really gonna be working those stabilizer muscles in your knees and your ankles. It's 5. 6. 7. 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Those weren't the smoothest sets for or reps for me. That's okay. You know, if you're tipping over a little bit, you know, just get right back on it and you focus on trying to just clean it up from there. You know, this is a really great exercise for, you know, people, for runners, because you're always on one leg. Also, if you know, play any sports, you're jumping off of one leg, or just, it's a great balance exercise as well. So let's get in position here. We're leaning forward and then rocking ahead. Now you should also keep your chest, it should be lined up with the machine here. That's 2, 3. So don't be twisting. 4. And as you kick back, try to, you know, keep your pelvis still lined up. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Okay. Now, if you're struggling with this lift, you know, try a different weight setting. You know, I haven't tried tons of different variants of it, but for me, again, I got 50-pound rod, 50-pound band, and that can act as a counterbalance here, possibly. So, you know, it might actually strangely be easier to do this lift with more resistance. So find, you know, what's working for you, write it down. You're coming back to this routine again, and know where to start. Okay, we're almost out of time. Back on the other foot. Okay, reaching forward, leg back, and we're swinging ahead. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, one more. After this, we're going to be hooking up our leg extension attachment. These are always harder than I thought they would be. Now, if I've done these lifts where you're holding the handle and then you're kind of going from side to side. I think I like it better with the bar. You know, if you like it better with the handle, let me know in the comments. I recently tried out this version with the lap bar, and I think I like it better. I also like that it moves really nicely from deadlifts, I guess, to another form of deadlift. Okay, let's go here. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. It's all about control as I tip over. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. I hope some of y'all had an easier time than I did with that one. We're moving into leg extensions here. So we're going to remove our lap bar, hook up our seat, and get that all attached. Okay, so I would recommend, again, going to 8 reps per set on this. I think I'm actually just going to stick to 10 on this one. So, feel it out for yourself on it. I sometimes find if I do too much weight for this leg extension that my knees end up really kind of sore the next day, not like a good sore either. And so I'm going to be starting out here at 130 pounds, 10 reps per set. And that might just be kind of from all my running that I do, kind of combining this with all of that. I don't know. I've always had a problem with this right knee, and the only time I really have problems with it on this machine is from leg extensions, so not going too heavy. All right, you know how these work. Hands are going to be under your butt, and we're just going to be seated up nice and tall, extend it out, and slowly retract. So that's 1, 2. And I want you to know, are you doing 8 right now, or are you doing 10? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. I have a lot of record keeping to make up here. And that felt real good. I am bumping the weight just a little bit, but I'm going to keep targeting 10 reps. So I'm up to 2 50-pound rods and a 50-pound band here. I'm a little hesitant to go up to much higher than that. I've done 180 before with this, but I'm a little nervous because I've got a big long run planned for tomorrow morning, and I just don't want it to be, hampered by a bad knee. Here we go. Let's extend it out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Full minute of rest. You can adjust that weight as needed. That felt good to me. It's challenging without, overstressing that knee. So some of you that may have kept up with all my marathon training and running and stuff. I don't have any marathons on the schedule at the moment. It's kind of helping me, get some of these routines recorded and out. I'm actually not planning to do one until probably the fall or the winter, because I live in Florida, right? And it is crazy hot down here. But tomorrow, I have an 18-mile run planned, 7 a.m. So still getting it there. All right, let's get going here in 5 seconds. Here we go, extend it out and slowly release. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, 1 minute of rest here. So it's kind of weird too with that, the long runs and leg days and stuff. And for me personally, I don't end up sore from a leg day routine until 2 days after the lift. So somehow it kind of works where I can do a leg day and then go into a nice long run the next day. And then the following day, which will be Monday for me, I will be super sore. But it kind of works out. So, okay, we got our last set coming up here. All right, 20 seconds. Let's get in the zone here. All right, final set. Let's make this thing count. All right, lock in that number. How many you got in here? I'm going for 10 again. These get harder as we go. Let's extend it out and slowly release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, awesome job on finishing this routine. Now, if you're looking for a little bit more work today, if you're, this was not enough, there's an add-on routine listed up on the screen here. Also, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all the Ko-Fi and Elite Patreon members. They're up on the credits here as well. Thank you to them for supporting the channel and making this whole program possible. So if you've made it to the end of the program, even if this is your first cycle, I want you to be really proud of yourself for getting that far, because I know this thing ain't easy, and it's hard to make these routines really part of your life, but good on you for making it this far. So don't forget to remove those power rods from tension if you're calling it a day here, and I want you to be good to yourself, be good to others, and thanks for watching.